we ready, folks?
Yep.
Question number 2.
Ga ga ga. Ga ga ga.
What the?
Ga ga ga.
That's a lady that is very surprised at what you're offering.
Okay, if everything worked properly, this should be the exact time and place that Mort was sent to. Now we've just got to figure out where we are.
Or when we are.
Oh, that's such a douche time traveler thing to say.
Shazoo!
Okay, we're somewhere in Europe.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast. Coming at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I'm Mayor Dave Badeaux, the city brainer.
Dude, I was only cleaning.
Her vagina.
And with me, as always, is my brother.
Sure.
Sounds about right. Gabriel Johnson, I see you.
Yeah, Scott, the bandana look. Nailing it.
Hey,
really pulling it off.
Thank you. I went and found that comment.
Yes.
That dude's getting blown up. People are not happy with him.
Well, hold on, though. So that comment happened. Then he went on another video and said, I see you're still trying to make the bandana work.
I didn't see that one.
I'll have to find what video that is, but there's another video where he goes, still trying to make the bandana work.
It's been 10 years.
Somebody
Longer than that.
Somebody made a comment, and it was when Jaeger was on. So it was the three of us and Jaeger, and it said, I see that Spider-Man isn't even trying to hide his secret identity anymore. And I was like, what kind of comment is that? I couldn't, most comments
Your
I couldn't
back's
figure
too
out.
big to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'd be Spider-Man.
Scott?
I don't know.
Jesse, you and I are big backs.
Oh, that's right.
I think I saw a comment on one video that was the only comment that it just said they stole all the cake.
That didn't happen, did it? They stole all the cake. Was it us?
It was a comment
Jesse.
on one of our videos where you guys were wearing the red.
Jesse, sit up straight. Sit up straight. Holy crap, suck it in.
Right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
Wow. All right. Hey, folks, welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast. Jesse's with us again. Jesse, I'm not even going to let you explain yourself unless it's about how much cake we eat.
I guess.
God, I don't even like cake.
Yes, you do.
Well, I like cheesecake.
The internet.
Yeah. Hey, you guys ready?
Yes.
Everyone knows what time it is. Game time, who? All right, folks. We are going to play a game. This game, again, is Secret Sound. We've tried this a couple times. It actually went pretty well.
No, it didn't.
It went very well for me.
It went extremely well for Jesse. It did not go very well for the rest of us. I don't know how it's going to go this time because I
Fucking suck.
forgot the answers. So on my computer at my house is an email that I needed to hit send on that was
Didn't hit send?
Didn't hit send that was supposed to send the answers to what these are, which might actually be funny because this is the Secret Sound Foreign Animal Edition.
Okay.
So I'm not going to lie. I have no idea how this is going to work because unless my brain is like completely on, we're completely effed.
But at least with a foreign animal, people on the internet could be like, oh, that's a large-breasted tit.
So what this is this, yeah, Jesse, you large-breasted tit.
They're bird names.
How this works is that in other languages, people have different onomatopoeias
Sure.
for animals. However, a lot of them are really nuts.
Okay, so is this people doing animal noises?
For the most part, yes.
Like we say meow.
We say meow.
But in Japan, they say something else.
Most places, turns out, say meow. Most of it just in a different spelling. When it gets weird is when they don't have the combination of letters to go together to make the full word. Then you start to get some crazy sounding animals.
Foreign animal sounds. You mean foreigners making animal sounds?
Yes. Yes.
Well, the idea behind this is that the animals themselves are speaking a foreign language.
Okay.
The animal wouldn't know meow. It would know meow. Same, but different. Turns out not every animal is created equal. Some animals don't sound anything like an actual animal and just sound like letters strung together. So I don't know how this is going to work. I think part
Poorly.
part of the fun, I think, is going to be my inability to get things done. And we're going to just go through and see if I can even figure out what these are as well.
Even remember.
Well, first I'm going to have to remember, but then we're going to have to try and spell what the word is to try and figure out it, because if we don't know. All right, anyways.
Wait, what the fuck is going on here? This is a spelling quiz now?
No.
Do we guess the animal? Do we guess the foreigner?
You guess the animal.
We guess the animal noise being made.
Now, I was going to be able to tell you.
And then we guess the foreign.
Yeah. I was
Is
going
it
to.
Gerard Depardieu?
Some of them, oddly, yes. Also a big back, Jesse. Oh. Such a big back. Can't let us know that. He can't be arrested for any sexual crimes. Wiener don't work.
No problem.
Are you guys ready?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Sure ain't.
This is quickly turning into an episode that is only for our listeners. We may not even release this to the general public because what a show. Okay, as always, the way this will work is I will click the button, give it a second, hear the sound. In some of these, I have it playing the sound multiple times because they're quick. In a couple of them, I've actually mixed various versions of different languages. Same animal, different languages.
Multiple foreigners, same animal.
Same animal. So, are we ready?
Go for it.
Question number 1.
Wong wong. Wong wong. Wong wong.
Scott, it's a Japanese possum.
What'd you say?
I'm going to guess that's incorrect. I guess we don't even know. We don't even know if I'm wrong or right.
I do know this one. All right, I do know this one. Would you like me to play it again, Jesse? Or
Yes,
Gabe?
sure.
Okay.
Wah, wah.
Wong wong. Wong wong. Wong wong.
Scott is correct. It is Japanese.
Monkey.
That is incorrect.
Is it a bird of some sort?
It is not a bird.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you guys.
Whoa.
I'm going to give you some
So
hints.
are we going bird, cat, primates?
Yeah, all right. Is it a mammal?
Is that a vertebrae I hear?
Animal, vegetable, or mineral?
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking through that. It's not any bird. Okay. It's not any bird. This is a household pet.
Scott, it's a dog.
It is a dog for Scott for 1.
That is a sad dog.
Womp womp. Womp womp.
Womp womp.
You stupid bitch.
I disagree.
I've known some dog. Some people say in America, bow wow.
Yeah.
I would say that's equally as accurate as wow wow.
Yeah, Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bow Wow definitely. Is pretty much the exact same thing as Wow Wow. Yeah. Arf was another one they kept throwing out there. It was like,
Little dog's gonna get arfy.
yep, a little. Maybe. I don't know. But it's weird. Sounds weird as number 2. Are we ready, folks?
Yep.
Question number 2.
Ga ga ga. Ga ga ga.
What the?
Ga ga ga.
That's a lady that is very surprised at what you're offering.
Wowzers. This is Russian.
There's like an animal in Russia, and it's
Gabe,
a bear.
tiger.
A bear or tiger.
It is not a tiger. It is not a tiger. Ga 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 can be spelt either with G's or R's, evidently.
Oh, that helps. I don't have.
So rah rah rah.
Rah 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 or ga ga ga.
That's definitely a Siberian tiger.
But it's well, you heard her. She's Russian, and she let you know what that animal says.
she was not excited about it.
Okay, sure. Jesse or Scott, please.
Just name a fucking animal.
Yeah, it's not that
I'm
hard.
actually thinking.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I just keep thinking
Fine. Scott, bear.
No, not a bear. I just keep
We
thinking,
named the only 2 animals in Russia.
They're all going to be dog.
that would be funny.
Every nationality.
That would be funny.
Different version of Bow Wow.
That would be funny. Don't look at me.
Chicken.
Chicken is incorrect.
It's a good guess.
Clue number 1, good guess.
Scott, a crow.
It is not a crow. Clue number 2, it is a fowl.
Turkey.
Duck.
Incorrect. Also
Goose.
incorrect.
Goose.
Yes, Gabe with the goose. Gabe with the goose. I was trying to decide whether or not
Do I accept?
do I accept it or not. And actually, I was going to use the duck because duck is very interesting. The spelling of quack in all these languages is very interesting. I was going to use the French version of quack because it's coin, but when they say it, it's quang. And
Sure.
It was very, very easy. That's clearly a French duck. 1 point to Gabe, 1 point to Scott. This game is going about as well as I thought it would.
So Jesse.
So here's the point or the problem with this. I was speaking to somebody over the weekend and I was like, I think it was last Friday. And I'm like, I got to come up with a game, but Jesse's really good at movie stuff. So we want to do something different. And they're like, hey, have you ever seen that animals have different voices in different languages? And I'm like, that's a great one. And we we're like looking them up and I was like, this is awesome. In execution, after spending multiple hours on this process, doesn't quite translate like I hoped it would. But we've got 2 already here, folks.
And we're learning.
And we're ready for the third. Yes.
Educational.
We're ready for the third. I think this one has multiple different languages. Let's see what happens.
부엉부엉 부엉부엉 부엉부엉
Bow wow.
Okay, your guess is as good as mine.
Oh. We've already hit that stage.
We've reached the stage of me not knowing.
Gabe, that is a Vietnamese dog.
Yeah. It's not. That's incorrect. Jesse, I remember how to spell it. So
Is it some sort of a dog? Or
We only have to guess the animal. We don't have to
yes,
guess
you don't
the
have to.
foreigner.
Yeah, you don't have to guess if it's a collie or not. No, I mean say dog, which Gabe did. So don't say dog. Scott, you're up.
cat?
Pwong, pwong.
This is Japanese again.
Japanese? I thought it sounded more Chinese. Pwong, pwong. I mean, ooh, what?
Gabe, panda.
That is incorrect.
Safe choice, though.
I was going more the Chinese route.
Right. That's why I thought it sounded more Chinese. I thought it was a panda.
Part of my problem is these voice actors aren't really into it.
No.
They're not trying to sound like the animal. They're trying to like enunciate the word.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this one's a little interesting because I believe this is actually like when you go and have a word pronunciated to you. I think that's what this one is. It's not actually someone trying to imitate it. I'm sorry. It is not Japanese.
Yeah, because pumpo is not onomatopoeia in Japan. I've learned that in my research.
It is Korean. This is also a bird.
Toucan.
Incorrect.
A chicken.
It is not a chicken.
Chickadee.
It's not a chickadee. This is a bird.
duck. It's a duck.
This is a bird that you don't think of. Take that back. This is a raptor.
A hawk.
An eagle.
Jesse is
an
on
owl.
the board. It's an owl. Plum plum is the sound that an owl
I'm
makes.
pretty sure that's not the sound an owl makes.
I've heard an owl many times in Korea.
And if an owl was saying that, I'd be scared.
Yeah, I'd be out of here. Well, a lot of owls are weird. And not every owl sounds the same, but a who is pretty close to what an owl makes. Plum.
Who or hoot.
Yeah,
are both there.
I don't know if there's any t-ing in there. They don't have a tongue to make a t.
No, but it's closer than plum plum.
Found it.
Yeah. It's a Korean owl, folks. That was awesome. I'm glad we're playing this game.
Turns out ChatGPT can help you out in this game.
Oh, can it? Okay. Well, then here we go. Get your phones out, folks. This is how we're going to play this game. Get your phone out, Jesse. I'm going to allow it. At this point,
You have to know how to spell the word onomatopoeia, though.
I don't think I could do that. I think all bets are off if I have to spell onomatopoeia.
It's onomatopoeia.
Onomato.
Onomatopoeia.
Okay.
Copy.
It would have made more sense if I would have selected ones that sounded more like the animal. Here we go. Oh, question number 4.
Groin, groin.
Hru, hru.
Holy moly.
So this is
It's like something completely different.
3 languages: Japanese, Russian.
Gabe Duck.
That is incorrect. I'm going to play it one more time. 3 different languages: Japanese, Russian, and maybe French.
Frog.
Groin, groin.
Hru, hru.
Now, I think the point of onomatopoeia is that it sounds like
Right.
what it is. Those are 3 wildly different interpretations of the
Yes,
same animal.
They are.
Pigeon.
Incorrect.
Monkey.
Okay, we're not gonna play that game. We're not gonna play that game. Jesse, take a stab at it.
What type of animal is it?
It is the type of animal. That's the answer. The answer is the type of animal.
Like mammal, reptilian.
Okay, if you would you like me to start doing
Throw
that?
me a freaking bone, man.
Animal, vegetable, mineral. Is that what we're doing here?
I think it's
It is a mammal.
It is.
Yes, it is a mammal. It does not sound like that. Especially, I think the last one is the furthest from. The first one is Japanese, and it would sound like in an anime, which is kind of funny to me. The second one, I think, is French.
Groin, groin.
It's a pig.
Hru, hru.
It's a pig.
Oink, oink. Yeah.
It is a pig!
Yeah. Good
See,
guess.
this is a great game. I have selected the best game that we've ever played. God damn. Something tells me we're not even recording at this point, which would probably be better for our listeners if we weren't. This may be the worst episode we've ever had. In terms of
I thought it started off pretty good.
execution.
I'm glad I'm here for it.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. Well, the whole problem was I had to make a game that you couldn't just get the second that you showed up. Okay, folks, there is a language that, and I'm sure there's many languages, but there's one in particular that does not have a sound for pig. This is going to be multiple choice.
I'm going to say Arabic.
Is it Spanish,
There has to be one in Arabic.
Turkish, or Italian? One does not have a word for the noise that a pig makes. Spanish, Turkish,
Gabe,
Italian.
Turkish.
Italian.
0 points for Jesse, 1 point to Scott, 1 point to Gabe. That puts Scott in the lead. That puts Gabe and Jesse head to head to see who goes into the championship round to face Scott. Scott,
Why'd we do that? We were already in that position.
it doesn't matter because I had that question and I was going to ask it, so now I asked it, and here we are. Had Jesse,
Did you have the question, though? You seem pretty confused.
Yeah.
Gabe, the
I
magic
think you had it, like you stumbled upon it. And we're like, what's this?
the magic of the episodes, the magic of the episode is that no one is going to know any of that. They were just going to hear me be completely accurate in everything that came out of my mouth. Gabe versus Jesse to see who goes on against Scott in the championship round. This may or may not be an animal. It may or may not be something completely different. I have no idea at this point. All bets are off. But this is question number 6.
Quá, quá. Quá, quá.
Kva, kva, kva.
Ooh.
Kva, kva, kva.
Jesse. Is it a crow?
It is not a crow.
Gabe, duck.
Gabe says duck. That is incorrect.
It is.
It is incorrect. I'm going to play it again.
Gabe, cow.
It is not a cow. Jesse, would you like to hear it again?
Quá, quá. Quá, quá.
Kva, kva, kva. Kva, kva, kva.
Is it a rooster?
It is not a rooster. Oddly enough, rooster is one that is wildly different in every one, but somehow still sounds like a rooster. That was the one that I was the most impressed with because it's cock-a-doodle-doo, right?
Just throw a bunch of consonants together and you got a rooster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. If you can make a cuckoo, they all pretty much sound like a rooster.
You just sound like you're drowning.
Okay. It took me a minute to remember what this one was. I do remember now.
Oh, good.
It does not sound like this at all, I would say. It is reptilian.
Gabe, frog.
Gabe, on to the final round.
Those are amphibians.
And technically, it is not you are right. If I would have said amphibian, you would have gotten it. So.
Yeah, it's a turtle.
A turtle. Turtle. Let me play that one again real quick. So the first one, I believe, is French, and then the second one is for sure Russian.
Quá, quá. Quá, quá.
Kva, kva, kva.
So they're going more for the croak than the ribbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even the croak, though. Yeah, like the croak. But if you did the croak, like you would assume that Russian can pull off a croak. Everything in Russian is croaking. Is that not what it is?
They're good at it.
Yeah. I also like the 2 versus the 3. The triple ribbit.
Yeah,
That threw me off.
It's a lot of ribbits.
extra.
Yeah, it's a lot of ribbits. I think of like a frog as being like a, oh, maybe not. Maybe the smaller frogs, like when they more chirp though.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a quah, quah.
And it sounds exactly like a duck or a goose. Yeah. Ga,
The
ga,
crow-
ga.
the
Gua,
crow
gua,
is a
gua.
good-
Is that a goose or a frog? What's happening over here? Goddamn, these French all sound the same. Okay, again, audience, I'm going to apologize, but I was so far invested into this, and it was too late. There was no way to pivot. It was too late.
Hats off.
We had to go with it.
It's
weird.
It's different.
It's put it on our tombstone, folks. The iKnowBadeaux podcast.
It's weird.
It's
different.
It's different. and with a head tilt as well. Like you gotta somehow write that with a head tilt.
Yeah, hesitate, tilt.
It's different. All right, last one. This is for Scott and for Gabe. I do know this one. It is, you're going to hear Danish and you are going to hear Russian. Okay? Just think of that.
What kind of animals do they have in Denmark?
Think of animals and then think, this animal is talking to me in Danish and or Russian. Here we go. For all the marbles.
Brinsker. Brinsker. I gå gå. I gå gå.
Yes. Gabe, cow.
Incorrect.
Evinska.
Vinska. Vniski, I believe. Vinska or Vrinska. Vrinski. Vrinska. I have no idea how the other one was spelled. There was a bunch of letters that aren't letters.
Scott. A squirrel.
Ooh. That could have been the last one. The triple ribbit could have been squirrel. That's incorrect. I'm going to play it one more time, and then we'll throw out some clues.
Brinsker. Brinsker. I gå gå. I gå gå.
They're so wildly different.
And neither one of them sounds like this animal.
They are like 100 miles apart.
There's water in between. I would say that if you were to do this animal, you would have to put a little bit of effort into the making of the noise. That's my clue.
Scott, it's an
Bear.
elephant.
Both are incorrect. Scott's headed in the right direction, though. In that the effort, you got the effort clue. You're way off on the animal. You can ride it.
Gabe, camel.
I know what it is. Damn it.
No,
Gabe, horse.
I'm gonna give it to him because Scott's looking at me like a
I'm just trying to figure what the hell's going on right
with
now.
dead eyes. It is a horse.
Eagle.
Vrunska.
Vrunska. Vroom. So it's a vroom. I was going to say it sounds like they're cars.
Vrunska.
Is that the name of the? Is that what the horse sounds like, or is that their yeah? Vitska. Vitska. That's not what the horse says. That's what you say right in the horse.
I'm starting to think that maybe these are the sounds that little boys make when they play with the toy that is the animal. Vrunska. Vrunska. A horse. What? I mean, like neigh is not really perfect, but it's closer to a whinny than Vrunska or Igor.
Igor.
You call the fucking horse Igor.
It's Igor.
Yeah, but horses make a number of different sounds.
But they don't make any of those
None
sounds.
of which sound anything like those.
That doesn't sound anything like anything.
I mean, how do you spell?
Well, even that though. See that?
Put in the effort.
That sounds like Russian. Yeah, well, maybe that's it. Maybe that. Well, okay. See, now if the Russian would have been that, it makes more sense.
Right, because they're not into it. So that's why the words sound funny, because they're not.
Well, I don't know. The one lady seemed very jovial about informing me that horses sound retarded in Denmark. Anyways, hey, Gabriel Johnson, you are the winner. Go ahead and say something to your fans.
Hello and congratulations.
Oh, hello and congratulations has been had. That may be the worst game we've ever played.
I disagree.
Oh, really? Which game would you say would be the worst?
The secret sound I didn't win.
Oh, okay. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. The reason why I thought this would be interesting more than anything was Scott and I were talking about, we talk about this often, about how people think everything is racist, and I just don't think that everything is racist.
Yeah,
I think,
you can't even call a kid an N-word on a playground anymore.
Stop. We're not going to get into that. Well, okay. So now you got to give the context, because I assume that story will fade. But some lady called a child, maybe, the N-word on a playground. It's filmed. Everyone's going nuts. Everyone's becoming millionaires off of this. Everyone involved, except for the child. Or no, the child does have the child has his own money coming in. The lady's got her money coming in, which is wild.
What does the child need money for? He just got insulted.
Juice boxes.
Yeah. Well,
maybe he wants $30.
No, $2 is enough.
Yeah, anyways. But it is okay. Aside from things that are racist, there's a lot of things that could get thrown out as being racist. Now, everything is racist all the time now. I am a firm belief that accents are not racist, because accents are dialect that is region based. It has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with where you live. So if you live in the southern part of a country versus the northern part of a country, those are two wildly different dialects.
Oh yeah, look at Scotland.
Look at Scotland. Look at us. Us in northern Minnesota versus northern Minnesota. We have very hard, and I learned this the first time I went out to the East Coast. We have very hard vowels. We're A, E, I, O, U.
Oh yeah, you step outside of the Midwest, and everybody's like, "Oh, you must be from the Midwest."
Yeah, because we're everybody else is bag.
Nevada.
Yeah, we're A. It is A. It is a bag.
Oh, that drove me nuts when I was in school.
Oh yeah, I had a friend
playing Word Munchers. You remember the game Word Munchers?
Yes.
I still got that on the Apple IIe.
I would fly through that game.
Until you got to bag?
Until I got to bag, and it would tell me I was wrong because it was bag.
That's the most Minnesotan thing ever. I was trying to do word munchers on my
I was trying to get the
Apple
high
II.
fucking score, and I kept screwing up because bag is. You say it bag, man.
I will admit though that we're wrong because
Put an F in it.
Yeah, put an F in it because it's not vague. It's vag. But anyways, Scott and I talk about this all the time because there's a lot of like humor now that gets thrown completely out the window because people won't allow people to do accents. There is a way to do an accent that is inappropriate. Absolutely. If you're saying racist things, it doesn't matter if you do it in a French accent or a Ethiopian accent. It doesn't matter. It's still racist if you're saying racist things.
Anytime you click, it's kind of racist.
Well, that's a little different though too, right? That's a little different. But there was an example of there's a video from SNL, and it's when I thought it was when he came back, but it must not have been. It is Chris Farley on a Japanese game show.
No, is that where they were
so good? Oh God, it's so good. It's one of the best forgotten clips of all time. Because he just goes on there and he does not speak Japanese.
Yeah, and they're just like doing all this stuff.
They're muted every time they get an answer wrong. They
chop their own finger off and they're like,
"Why am I here? No, call the consulate. Call the embassy. Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese." But in it, it is Mike Myers, and he is doing an accent. But evidently, he is speaking Japanese.
Is he speaking true Japanese?
Supposedly. Maybe that's just what they say so that people will allow themselves to watch it because nobody actually speaks Japanese that is watching it. But so by saying the correct words, it is fine. By not saying the correct words, it's inappropriate. It's such a weird.
But isn't either way it's still like cultural appropriation?
Yeah, I don't believe in cultural appropriation either. I think all that is nonsense. But it's just an interesting thing because in that instance, right, he's still pretending to be a Japanese guy, but because he's saying correct Japanese, it's fine. No, it either is or isn't, right? One or the other. Pick a lane. But this, I think, proves my point. The animals don't even sound remotely the same at all. There's not a single animal that sounds exactly the same. And am I being a racist now towards these animals? I don't believe so. I'm just frisking my dog. Frisking my horse. Frinska.
You're frisking your horse?
If you had a horse, you'd frisk it.
I don't think I would.
I'd search that thing.
I know you would.
Oh, God. I was
strikes again.
I was trying.
You can't just softball it in there like that.
I was trying to go with like nonsense of like the horse stealing my shit or like
no, I'm gonna feel that horse up.
Yeah. That's all I know.
Now I'm gonna feel you up.
Yeah, he's so muscular.
They are muscular. I also saw a thing very recently. It was really funny. They were having a conversation. I think it was on Barstools where they're like, "Oh, did you know that humans versus horses in like a marathon, the humans will come out ahead?" And the guy's like, "I don't know if I believe that." And then they like looked it up, and it's like, "Yeah, one time a guy beat horses in this race that they've had. Like every year they have this race, and then one time a guy won." But
they do it every year, so the horses are like 53-1.
Yes. Oh, I think so. I to tell you the truth, I did as much research as they did after watching their clip about talking about whether or not a horse could beat humans in a long distance race. But it would make sense, right? It's something you would think potentially. We're long distance runners because we had to run long distances to chase after animals.
We had to tucker them out so we could bash them with rocks.
Yeah, imagine that from the animal's perspective.
Yeah.
We're just like the fucking Terminator, dude. They sprint off and they go hide, and here we come just walking. Yeah. We're just walking you down for days. For days.
I can do this forever.
Oh, that is terrifying.
And there's like 7 of us. We can do this forever.
Yeah.
That's a great take. Yeah, especially if you were like a herd of buffalo and you just keep going, and then eventually it's like the sick and wounded. You're like, "Fuck, man, we gotta let them go."
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Do you see these things? They're not gonna stop. That could have turned. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop the pivot before it turns. Yeah, but crazy. An interesting notion that maybe that could be the case. But turns out these horses are still going to beat you because it's not that far. 25 miles for a horse?
No.
Not a dead sprint.
Pace.
Yeah, not a dead sprint.
They could
gallop.
easily at least
They
gallop.
could gallop or trot.
Probably like what, good
They would-
25
Yeah.
miles an hour?
Yeah, they would be
On a trot,
They
yeah.
would
Trot, because they
they
max
would
at what,
cut
30,
your
35?
time in half.
Yes. Yeah, if you were...
So the fact that somebody actually won once is incredible.
It was
Well-
a very old sick horse.
Yeah, they just kept every year. It's the same horse over and over until they
Right.
finally win. But so we just had the Run for the Lakes Marathon up here, and that's always fascinating. The same people always end up winning. You'll go in chunks where like for 5 years in a row, the same people basically win it. But that's because those people are so much farther ahead than everybody else. The next person's like 5 minutes behind them, and then the next people behind that are like 10 minutes behind them. There's usually like 2 or 3 that get out to the front. But is it 25 miles when you're running as a human? You're probably running what, 15 miles an hour?
Oh gosh, no.
No,
Usain
not
Bolt
quite
was
that.
running like 19.
No, he was running like 24.
Yeah.
24.
Well, I was going to
maybe
say
26.
Yeah, I was going to say like top speed is like 26.
I guess in the NFL, like Tyreek can get to 20 sometimes. in
Okay,
dead
A lot of
sprint.
people get to 20.
So maybe like
sure.
10 miles an hour, maybe you'd say?
When I'm running, it's probably 3.5.
Well, that's you.
Yeah,
But I'm saying the guys
I
that are
would say
winning.
like 8.
You think 8? Oh, maybe, I guess. I guess 15 is quite
8
high.
miles an hour. A marathon's what, 28? Let's
do the
call it
math.
24. That's
well,
the
the
3 hours.
person who wins the marathon is 2.5, 3 hours. So that's
Okay.
10 miles an hour.
Okay, 10 miles an hour. Yeah. 15 was a little much. Yeah.
Those are the elite
Best of the
athletes.
best.
Yes. Yeah.
Not Boston elite. They're not going to go win Boston. It's a real small marathon we have up here, but these are trained athletes that
Yeah.
Can keep a 6-minute pace.
Somebody look up and see what a record setting.
a 6-minute
marathon
mile,
is.
it would be 10 miles an hour.
10 miles an hour. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems right. Yeah. 15 was a little high. Because I was thinking 20 miles an hour is probably like your high end people, but I was thinking it would go further down than that, but it would be much quicker. It would drop off
15
much
would
quicker.
be a 4-minute mile, so people have done it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've ran a 4 mile. Or no.
have
no.
not.
I've ran
No, you
not a 4 minute.
have
Not a 4
not.
minute.
It was
I've ran a-
14.
I'm sorry. I've ran a
You maybe
seven.
cracked 6.
I hit 7 when I was running. 6 I can do. Yes. Not nowhere near 4. I was absolutely misspeaking the second it came out of my mouth. I did not mean to say I've run a 4 minute. I've
I ran a 4-minute 400 once.
I when I was running, I was a 7-minute mile on pace. That was my pace. And then turns out when you run, your body hurts. Like my knee just turned to powder and shit. It was terrible. What'd you find out there?
Nothing.
Anything? Nothing?
Yeah,
Oh,
but-
great.
It's quite slow.
Much like you. Jesse, we've brought you here.
So quick-witted.
What do you want to talk about since we got a couple minutes left?
What's going on in your
since
life
we
there,
brought
bud?
you here.
What is going on?
I got a great story for you. Last night,
Hey, Jesse, what's up? You know what? Shut up.
I wanted to let you speak. It took 20 minutes for you to freaking even come to grips with the
Because
question.
I spoke.
He was being polite.
He didn't get a chance. The second he got an
Sorry,
opportunity,
this game
I
is still
interrupted, and then
just
you said, "You know what?
swirling
Never
around in
mind."
my head.
I'm looking at his story. I'm looking him in the eyes, and there wasn't a lot going on.
No.
Last night, Gabe and I, we went to Shep's. I had myself a couple Diet 7-Ups. Gabe had himself a beer and a Knob Creek. I assume.
Yeah.
One of our buddies was there, and he sat down and was talking to us. And he, it turns out, is into card collecting. He mentions that he likes Pokemon cards as well, likes to collect them. And then out of his pocket, he pulls a 9-rated Charizard hologram.
Why would you carry that around with you?
And then he was telling me about an Aunt Edwards card that he recently got. It reaches back in his pocket, and we're all like, "Oh shit!"
He just pulled out
And then
his
he
phone.
pulled out his phone and showed a picture of it.
I was like, how many cards are in your pocket? He's at the bar. He is at the bar with a rated sealed in the plastic case.
He met somebody at the bar to pick it up. That's why it was in there.
Oh, I thought maybe that's maybe that's how he picks up.
Yeah, that's his
women.
That's his icebreaker.
You ever seen a 9.0 Charizard?
Hey, babe, you like him shiny?
Yeah, Charizard. It was a hologram. He said it was only worth like $150, so it wasn't like a major.
There's
card.
and Pokemon.
Yeah, he's big into it. So
there are so many things to know about. I don't even try.
Yeah,
like my manager, he's a complete aficionado when it comes to. He can go, oh yeah, there's.
Yeah, you have to go down and look at the serial numbers on a lot of these.
I mean, there's numbers on them that tell what this is from, and but he'll be like, oh no, this is a reprint from that year, and and well, the corner is this, so that takes it down this much, and I'm like, oh my god,
nerd alert!
No, you would have got a kick out of this though, because it's right up your alley, And then he starts talking about all the weird things he has, and I was making fun of it, but then I go, hey, here's the deal: Jesse holds instruction manuals for video games at his store for me.
For you, yeah.
And then I come and purchase them in bulk. And I'd like to say it's like, hey, I spent $25 on these instruction books. It's not what's happening.
No.
I am making purchases that are inappropriate of things that I will probably never look at again. I put them in my shoebox. I love them. I'm like a little 5-year-old kid. You know, the best gift you can ever get like a 5-year-old boy is like a little chest, like a treasure chest. They just love it.
God damn, do you love treasure chests?
Oh God, but little boys love it. You get them something to hide their stuff in, and they will pack it with every shiny trinket, every little thing they ever find. They'll bring home rocks. They'll sneak them in there, and just get this little treasure trove of stuff. I'll admit, I have a shoebox.
I can imagine,
with a Post-it on the top that says "Do not touch," and it's where all of the ones that I like. I wouldn't say that they're super, super expensive, but that is where I keep my instruction books. All the ones that I really like.
Oh, that reminds me. When are you going to come check out those Nintendo Powers?
You were supposed to price them out for me.
You were supposed to come and pick out the ones you wanted. Then I'm going to price them out.
I didn't know
because there's like hundreds of them.
Oh, I didn't know there were hundreds of them. I don't want hundreds of them because I have a lot of them.
Yeah. You're going to have to look through them.
Okay, we'll go do that.
Pick out what you want.
Yeah.
And
Well, you gotta. What is it? Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power. Yeah.
Oh, the old Final Fantasy IV.
I have that.
Oh.
Yeah. The Final Fantasy 4 one or the Final Fantasy one?
The Final Fantasy IV where they're on the like Black Raven thing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
The black chocolate.
Get it? Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, this is all.
I hear it's the greatest game ever.
Early 90s through like the GameCube era.
If you made it this far in the episode, I'm sorry for you.
Are we still there?
You sat through the worst thing that's ever happened, and your reward for it was us talking about Final Fantasy Nintendo Powers.
App cover and just instruction books. You have a box of instruction books.
I do.
Riveting entertainment.
Oh, God. And meanwhile, last night, I was just ripping on this guy so hard because he had a Charizard in his pocket. But it was one of the funniest things that I've ever encountered in my life. He goes, oh, check this out. And then reached in his pocket. And then any number of things went through my head. I'm like, what do we got here? Could be interesting. You know? And it could have been anything. Could have been anything. What I was not expecting was a 9-graded Charizard Pokemon card. Justin, you are a collector. What is your favorite collection?
Oh, geez. Probably my old Kenner toys.
Oh, nice.
Like the
Star Wars,
okay. Ghostbusters.
Okay.
RoboCop.
Okay.
Stargate. I got a lot of Playmates too.
Stargate's not that old, dude.
It's 95.
Okay.
95.
Okay.
Yeah. We were in like sixth
Oh,
grade.
that's fair. That's fair. We were older than 6th grade, but that's fair. I wouldn't have thought Stargate, though.
Oh, I love that movie.
Really? I mean, I like the movie. It's kind of like Congo to me, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, and then all of a sudden it's like, where are we going with? What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's just one of them that stuck with me, I guess.
Yeah. I do like Kurt Russell, though.
Oh, yeah. He was great in that. Oh, and then Richard Dean Anderson played his character in the show.
Yeah, what is going on? We just complained about this. What the fuck are we doing?
Oh, my God. Okay, folks. So I think we need to be done. Jesse, so we're supposed to do.
A funny podcast.
I thought the animals would be way funnier than they were. It turns out it was just weird and kind of hard and depressing. And then I forgot the answers. And,
13.2 miles per hour is the record-setting average pace for a marathon.
yeah. So that's what I was thinking was you'd be 20. Like, okay, so when you're running, so my son, like in football, on the drill that they have, got up to 20 miles an hour, right? And that's a kid, you know. So I'm thinking, all right, well, drop that down, blah, 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 about 15, but 15 is probably pretty high. So 13 sounds about right. 10 probably more accurate. Yeah. Would you ever run a marathon? No. Yeah, okay, that's right.
I'm a sprinter. In high school, I ran track. I did the 1 and the 2, and I was dead after running the 200-meter dash. Yeah. The only time in my life I have ever told a coach no
was when he wanted to run
was
the 4?
when he wanted me to run the 4. He said, I think we're going to have you run the 4 today. And I said, you are absolutely not going to do that. I will not do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That sounds terrible. Hey, do you like doing that one thing you do? How about you do it twice as far? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds terrible. Jesse, would you ever run a marathon?
I got a brother-in-law that does that, and he's been trying to get me to do it.
Would you ever do it, though?
I would, but I'm going to need my knee brace.
Yes, you will. And your nipple covers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've been educated on the importance of those.
Yeah.
Well, me too. I've been at the finish line of a marathon.
Yes. You hear about it all the time, though. In men, right? You're going to lose your nipples. But you always hear about toes and nipples. But I would feel like the sack would be more of a hindrance to me, I would think. Wouldn't after 26
It kind of does its own thing down there.
You wear runner's shorts, just kind of let it.
What about the tip? You're not
the nipples. The nipples are just constant, one spot over and over and over again. Your dick's just flopping around in there.
So you're either sucking it, in or just drooping, and grandfather clocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But the toenail thing is wild, and that is enough for me to never want to be a runner. I like toenails. Like I like them intact. I don't want to not have toenails. I think it's weird. Gabe's brother, no toenails.
Nope, ran a few marathons and hasn't for probably 10 years, and his toenails still fall off, I believe.
They come in, and then they go, I've had enough. And they just see you later, no toenail. Yeah,
they may be permanent again, but for a long time there, the toenails grow and fall off. That's what happens to runners.
Yeah.
So you just take off your socks and there's just toenails in there?
And blood.
Yeah.
Which is wild, right? Like, first of all, what do we need them for, right? What do we need?
Protection.
For what? From what, though? Like, what is it protecting you from? Because
I feel like there's something to do with it. Keeps it sturdy.
Okay.
You know, it's like a back.
That could be an interesting take on it. Yeah. So I learned a long time ago. There was a guy that had lost the end of his thumb, and he was showing me what they gave him for it, and it was like a thimble almost, but it was metal. It was metal, but it was for your thumb. So he had like a rope. It looked pretty cool. It's like RoboCop, only just a thumb.
Just the tip of your thumb.
Just the tip of his thumb.
Doesn't Tony Iommi, is that his name? From Black Sabbath. He actually lost all his fingertips.
Okay.
In an industrial accident when he worked at this factory.
It was probably from shredding.
He's got all the tips are like prosthetic, and he can still just...
That would be the coolest story for a guitar player. Like, I lost all my fingers playing last night, man. Shredded them right off.
Oh, you got blisters on your fingers? I don't have fingers.
Anyways, but we'll end this episode with
more boring.
No. This is actually
what else do we
kind of cool. This is actually kind of cool.
into?
So he showed me that when they first gave it to him, it was rounded, and he said like you couldn't pick things up. So he was showing to me that it's angled, flat and angled, because you don't think about that when you look at it because they're round because it's all fleshy. But when you push in on it, it's flat. So his thumb was super angular. And he said that's the same thing with like your fingertips. You wouldn't do round fingertips. You would put edges on them because then you can actually pick things up with them, which I found that fascinating.
Fascinating.
Riveting.
But toenails, What do you need them for? The only time I even know I have toenails is when I stub my toe or they're too long or there's like an ingrown toenail situation. It's never a pleasant experience of like, oh God, thank God I have these toenails.
No. It's usually pain.
It is. It's pain associated. All right. Last question, Jesse, for the entire podcast. Are you in defeat? Don't answer that. I'm afraid to hear what you say.
It's not my favorite attribute, I guess.
I think they're gross. I think they're disgusting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is one hell of an episode.
That really rounded it off.
I don't know what to do with any of that. However, it was a pleasure having you on.
Well, thanks for having me.
I'm sorry that we did that to you.
I'll come on and talk about weird shit anytime.
Do you want to come on next week?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you doing? Are we going to do...
We're doing 1977.
But not movies.
Not movies, though.
What, though?
We are doing TV, music, pop culture. A lot of serial killers. I've been doing a little bit of 1977 TV.
Okay.
It's an interesting experience.
Starsky and Hutch, man.
I think it's important. I have takes on some of the stuff I've been consuming. You can do that, or you can come on in 2 weeks and do 1977 movies if you want as well. But we'll leave that up to you, Jesse. I appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry about today's game. The entire problem was that you win every time you're on here. So we had to make it so bad that you had no chance.
You did good.
All right, Scott, take us out of here.
Toenails are for protection, support, and sensory function, and they're just an evolutionary leftover.
Sensory
function. They help provide counter pressure when your toes press against surfaces, which aids in gripping, balance, and fine motor control. Particularly useful when walking, barefoot, or climbing.
Interesting. I wonder if you don't have toenails, if like you struggle in certain situations.
Yeah.
And what would those situations be?
Yes, it looks like climbing, balancing.
Moving in general.
It says that though, but would you?
It's
says
also,
it's-
also ChatGPT.
Yeah, it helps.
Could be
but
completely wrong.
sure. I'm like right now. I'm digging my toes into the ground, trying to like see. Yeah, I think they're probably right. It's like a pressure gauge. It's like a low pressure gauge for your toes. Yeah. We got to pump these babies up. Anyways, Gabe, take us out of here, please.
I'm so sorry. Everybody.
We had to have a stinker. Man, we haven't had a stinker in a long time. So, folks, again, we will be back next week with in 1977. Now's your chance to throw things out to us. I would love music. If somebody has music they'd like us to talk about, because we specifically found out evidently every band that you can think of from the 70s has a major album in 1977. Serial killers, Gabe, you are going to go deep into that.
Love it.
And then, if you got a television show that you want us to dig into from 77 as well, like let us have that, because like I said, I've been consuming it and it's an interesting experience. So, all right, folks, we'll be back next week, and with that, we're done. For a second there, I thought we were screwed, but we're not. Okay, here we go.
Yet.
Oh, shit. Did I not? Oh, please tell me I did. Fuck.
That's the outro. You got it.
There's no way I can be this stupid. Let's find out. It'd be really unfortunate. Oh, fuck. I don't have the answers.
I'm sure once you hear the sound, you'll remember.
Oh, no, I won't. Oh, no, I won't. Hold on, let me think. Oh, fuck, dude. I don't think I can get through the whole thing. I know I can get through some of them, but I don't think I can get through the whole thing without the answers.
Okay, here's the secret sound that shall remain a secret.
Whose guess sounded closest?
Poll?
You know what?
Exactly. No, we just do the whole thing. We go, we got no fucking clue. Anybody?
We'll just Google it after it happens, and then we'll all have a fun time.
Yeah, is there a Shazam for sound effects?
I don't know, but let's try it and see what happens. Dude,
It's okay. Jesse knows all of them already.
I know that's going to be true. Well, you're right, Gabe. That is the outro. So just a little bit of heads up to everybody. I'm a fucking moron, but we're going to try this anyways. Here we go.